Good morning. Happy Memorial Day weekend. Um, Today's practice, I thought we would do some gentle movement just to stir up any stagnant energy because if you're a fellow Hoosier, fellow Fort Wayne Hoosier, we've had nothing but rain. So being inside and then that heavy, damp air, and now it's just humid. I'm sure my little frizzies will be like out here by the time we're done, but we're going to go back to rain tomorrow. So I thought we could stir up some stagnation and kind of get our bodies ready for and adjusted to the climate. I've been out in my garden. I'm going to go do that after we practice together. And people are out biking and walking and all that. So I would like to get our feet stretched out, everything just opened up, just in preparation for this heat and humidity, but also more rain. Props that you will need today. One or two pillows as always, just for the end of our practice. It might be good to set up near a wall space that's clear, and one or two blankets or large bath towels or beach towels. Yeah. So for anyone who's new, I'm Vicki Eber. This is Sunday Slow Jam, and it's all restoration. And I want to kind of debunk what restorative can mean. A lot of things. It doesn't always mean propping and laying around. It can be movement that restores mind and body. Ultimately, that's the goal. So let's go ahead and get started. I'll try to cue as best I can for anyone who has any limitations. If you have tender knees today, I would highly recommend keeping a blanket or a towel nearby, especially if you have hard floors that you're practicing on. If you feel like you need a mat for some gripping, that might be helpful too. So what we're going to start with is something we practiced last week, which is broken toe pose. And I'm going to give two variations for you. If your knees are tender, actually there'll be a couple variations. The classic variation is we tuck our toes under. Flip my camera down a little bit so you can kind of see what I'm doing here. Spreading the toes out and you can sit back. Tender knees, you can take your extra blanket and roll it up to give yourself a little lift. And if this is all too intense, you can also do this in a puppy pose or child's pose variation so that it's a little less weight on your feet. So you choose what fits your body best. And I highly recommend practicing this one regularly just to stretch the connective tissue in your feet, especially if you wear sandals a lot. So coming into whatever variation of broken toe pose, we're just going to find the breath. And remember that you can always take a pause and set the tops of your feet to rest on the floor at any time. And just noticing how your breath feels today. If it's really humid where you are, your breathing might feel different, might feel a little labored. And just keep in mind, our environment does impact how we feel. So just noticing how shallow or deep your breath feels today. And in turn, how the body feels. And again, if you find something that's really super uncomfortable, try to lean into it. But if you need to adjust, you can always lower down to that modified broken toe in child's pose, or just rest your feet. And so this week's mantra is manifest blessings. And to manifest something is actually just a perception, to perceive what's before you. So if we choose to fixate on the bad, it's just going to continuously perpetuate. It's going to intensify. So we can take this into our bodies here and acknowledge what we're feeling, but maybe not fixate on it as a good or a bad thing. Just, I feel this. I feel pain. I feel numbness. I feel tingling. I feel tension. Acknowledge that. That is what it feels like. It may be unpleasant or pleasant, but letting go of attaching good or bad. And see if you can stay with it. Just a few more rounds of breath here. And wherever you are, we're going to walk the hands back. Press the soles of the feet into the floor, and then slowly just come to a relatively close to straight leg, maybe bent knees, depending on how your hamstrings feel. So a ragdoll pose. And we're just gonna keep the knees soft, sway side to side. You need to separate your feet a little farther apart. Maybe you can need to wiggle your toes after having them tucked under. You need to let your arms hang down, that's fine too. So like I said, stirring up stagnation. You move your arms a little bit more. Just kind of playing around with free-form movement here. And noticing the pace you're moving into. If we live in our minds, we tend to move quickly. Our breath tends to move quickly and shallowly. Can you stay with your breath and stay within the whole body? And don't forget the head and neck, just letting that shake out a little bit here. And if you can get to a straight leg, that's fine, but don't force it. And we're not locking the knees, we're keeping them in a soft state, so we're not overly done. And then notice where you're holding on a little bit more. Maybe you're squeezing in the glutes, in the belly, in the shoulders. Are your shoulders up by your ears? The head and neck. Are you holding your head and neck up? Can you just let the crown of your head hang down? Breathing into the backs of the legs. Forward folds are very cooling and calming to the nervous system. And when it's hot out, yin practice or something like this is very nice to counter the heat. So we're going to step a leg back and lower the knee down. We're going to come up into a low lunge. Scoot over here. Grab opposite elbows, or if you want to interlace your fingers kind of in a Charlie's Angels style, we're going to lean to the side of the front leg. So my right leg's forward, I'm leaning to the right. If your left leg's forward, you lean to the left. Breathe into the side body. Make those adjustments for your arms and legs as needed. Being mindful that the back leg, we don't want to overextend. Come back to center. Twist into the front leg. Option to pick up, option to wrap, or you could even come into hands to prayer. And so this is where if your knees are tender, you can keep folding your blanket until you have enough cushion. So just take this where you're most comfortable, where your breath can stay down in your belly. And just a reminder, just because I'm doing something doesn't mean you have to. You have the choice to change whatever you need for your body. Come back to center, reach tall. Release down to the inside. We're going to extend the front leg back. And we're going to connect the knees. Ashtangasana, knees, chin, chest, hugging your elbows. Slide through onto your belly. Gentle lift of the heart. And we're going to lower the heart and then push back up to table. We're going to walk the hands back, press the soles of the feet into the floor, into our forward fold. So in an active class, normally we would do downward dog, but I want to keep it relatively simplified today. Switching legs, however you need to get there, into low lunge. Keeping that right ankle, we'll roll up, reach, either that Charlie's Angel salute or opposite elbows. We're going to lean to the side that your front leg is on. Breathe into the side body. Come back to center, and then we're going to twist into the front leg. Option to add your variations. Checking in on that back leg, making sure that there's no excruciating pain, that you're not forcing something to happen that's not available to you today. Back to center, reach tall. Release. Extend the front leg back. Connect. We're going to do one more Ashtangasana here. Knees, chin, chest. Very slow. Lift the heart. Lower. Push back to table. We're going to come down to our forearms. Keep the tail high for puppy. Stretching out the shoulders. Breathing into the hips, the back. And then we'll pull forward to table. Just do a gentle Chakravikrasana. Just moving, stirring up that energy. Inhale forward, exhale round, sinking back. You can make this wiggling cat, figure eights with your shoulders and hips. If you need to pause and get the head and neck moving a little bit, you can pause and add that in. We're really feeling into what you need today in this movement. And eventually coming to rest in child's pose or puppy. If you need to add extra lift, you can roll your blanket under your hips and rest it on your heels. Whatever is most comfortable for you. Forehead touching down, whether that's stacking your hands and resting, or fists. If you have a rolled towel or blanket, you can rest your forehead that way. Let's pull forward to table. Extend an arm, doesn't matter which, we're going to do both. We're just going to make circles with this arm. Now you can stay stationary like this, or you can add movement if you'd like. So adding the movement, I personally feel it in my grounding arm as well as my moving arm. Just depends on how gentle you need to go. If you need to just stay, that's fine too. Change direction. Add breath, inhale up, swing, exhale down. We're going to pause on the upswing, reach, expand in that heart, thread the needle. So shoulder touching down, side of the head touching down. If you can't quite get there, blanket can support you. Your top arm can either extend or wrap, or just stay stationary and grounding. And we'll press back, cat-cow, side to side if you need to mobilize the spine. And then we'll add the next arm. So switch sides, going in whatever direction you want to go to start, either stationary or moving the whole body. Inhale, up swing, exhale, down swing if you'd like to add breath to help stir up and move any stagnation. Change direction. Feel into the whole body. Pause on your upswing. Expand, palm to palm. Thread the needle. Bringing your shoulder down, head down. Again, tuck any support underneath head and shoulder as needed. You can keep your top arm grounded like this. Extend or wrap, whatever is most comfortable for you. Remembering if the words I can't come in, back to that mantra, manifest blessings. Rather than focusing on what you cannot do, let's focus on what you're able to. Press back. Cat-cow, side to side. Just mobilizing. And then we're going to extend a leg. It doesn't matter which. We're going to make circles. So often when I teach in the spring transitioning to summer, any seasonal transition, there's a lot of sweeping and stirring like this that happens. Change direction, which will probably feel unnatural. Because as we're transitioning, we need this movement to stir things up. And then we're going to extend, lengthen, reach through the crown of the head, shoulders down the back. We're going to step back to our low lunge. But our hands are going to stay to the inside. If you need to pad your knees, use that. And then we're going to pull the heart forward and then extend the front leg. So if you can't quite get there, make sure you're not reaching too far. You can stay closer to this back knee. Inhale forward, exhale back. And if keeping up with breath and movements too much, just breathe and move independent of each other. Pause on the extension. Option to press the foot down or keep the toes lifted. Feel into what you need. You might feel some stretching on the top of your foot and ankle. If you're still having trouble here, you could always slide a book underneath. I have a binder right here. You can elevate yourself. There's props all over your house. We're going to take the opposite hand down. We're going to create a twist here. So we're getting the outer edge of this leg. Remember to pad your knees. You're starting to feel it. Hand to waist if that's more comfortable. And we'll come back to the inside, bend the knee. Option to come down to your forearms. You can use a prop here if you need a couple pillows under your forearms. Stay on your hands. Not moving too quickly. Sometimes we'll just skip right past a threshold and not realize that we have pain that we need to work through, tension that we need to work through. Again, we'll twist. Hand to waist if you liked hands to prayer on the knee. If you liked having the quad stretch, just taking this where you're comfortable. Remembering just because you choose one way does not mean you're stuck there. Make changes as needed. Adjust. Make it comfortable enough to breathe, but uncomfortable enough that you're working through some layers that may need worked through and have been skipped over. Let's return back to center. Extend. If you need to make circles here just to get circulation going. Let's tuck those toes under, press the heel back around the spine. Then we'll come back to table. Switch legs. Same thing, circles. Change direction. Embrace the awkward. We'll extend. Step. Hands to the inside. You're going to prop your hands if needed. We're going to inhale forward, exhale back, straightening the front leg. You don't have to sit all the way back. You don't have to be touching the floor. You could be on a stack of books or a block. One more. We'll pause on the extension. Option to press the front foot down. And if you need to prop yourself, you can put something under your hand. Take opposite hand down and twist into the front leg, hand to waist or wrap. Being mindful of how forceful the twist is coming. And it's the small modifications and changes that can really make a large impact. So you might pick up your toes and feel more intensity on the outer edge of your leg than the foot down. Just trying things out. Go exploring. Back to the inside. We'll bend the knee. Option to come down to forearms if that's comfortable. Don't force it. And then adding your twist as needed. So you could do this forearm, hand, elbow to knee, however you need to do this. It's all about paying attention. What signals are you getting from deep within? Come back. Extend. Make your circles. And we'll extend that leg, tuck the toes, press the heel down around the spine. And we'll come down to seated. So let's start with the legs extended out. We're going to get the neck and shoulders stretched out. So let's just do a classic Dandasana here. If you need to tuck a blanket underneath your hips, if your hamstrings are really tight, you can just tuck the edge underneath your sit bones. And what we're going to do, keeping a tall spine, we're going to open the arms. And we're going to cross one arm under the other to make eagle arms. If this is too much, just give yourself a bear hug. So elbow to elbow. And we're going to fold. Chin can lower toward the chest. You might start to notice some stretching happening in the neck and between the shoulder blades. Let go of the need to touch your toes. We'll press and roll up, open. We're going to switch the cross of the arms. So if you're going elbow to elbow, you have the opposite elbow on top. We're going to fold again. Roll up, unwind the arms, and we're going to bring the soles of the feet together. Just keeping in mind how tight your hips are, you might need to slide your feet a little farther out. Whatever's comfortable for you. If you need to pad or prop your knees, you can do that as well on either side. What we're going to do is fold, but go gentle. So we start slow. If you feel the need to tuck the arms under, you can do that. But if it feels constricting, please don't force that to happen for you. And just let your head lower, so chin toward the chest. And take pause here. So just embracing stillness, honoring stillness. Beginning to notice maybe some muscles unwinding or opening up. Maybe a level of discomfort or unease. And can you look at these discomforts as a learning opportunity? What can you learn about yourself that's being held within your own body? Roll up. We're going to bring the knees up. And so a few variations. If you have tender knees, we're going to have one leg out and one foot in. And that can be wherever you are most comfortable. Option 2, if your hips are really tight, is simple cross leg, Sukhasana, easy seat. Option 3 is shoelace, knee to knee. So just like we did with our arms, now we're doing it with our legs. What we're going to do is just gently fold forward again. So if you're in shoelace, you can rest your hands on your feet. You can bring your arms forward if that's more comfortable. Same with Sukhasana. And even with one leg out, one leg in. And so with one leg extended, you may feel more of the pull in the back of the extended leg, but that still attaches into your hips. So you're still getting that hip stretch that you need. Just being mindful of mobility and level of tension. Remaining open to whatever lessons the body's trying to deliver to you, whatever messages, through an emotion, a memory, or simply through sensation. Just allowing spaces to open up with time and breath without force. Roll up. Just take a moment here. We'll carefully unwind. You need to extend your legs for a second, and then we'll switch. So again, you could do one leg out, one leg in. Switch the cross of your legs or the stack of your legs. Just depending on how you're feeling today. Tall spine as we fold forward, wherever you are. Chin can lower toward the chest. And just being mindful of any areas of the body that want to get involved that don't need to. So you may be tensing your opposite hip, maybe to guard and protect the other side. You stay with your breath throughout the process. And through that breath, creating an invitation for your body to feel safe to surrender. Pull up nice and slow. Carefully uncross. Let's extend once again. This time, let's just take a classic forward fold. We often do this one with something under the knees if you want to go a little gentler and keep your elbows soft. If you feel the need to reach your feet, just be mindful that your shoulders aren't up by your ears. Effortless. That's ultimately the goal of our asana practice, whether it's active or passive. We put forth the effort we need without feeling the need to add more. Our body and breath is pretty magical, that it can do a lot of work without us forcing it to happen. Roll up nice and slow. If you need to adjust your legs however you're comfortable sitting, you can keep them extended if you'd like. Let's just do some torso circles. We did these last week. Great way to wake up the low spine. If you'd like to get the head and neck involved, just be mindful if it makes you feel dizzy or nauseous when you do that. Change directions. Come up to center. And we're going to be mindful of your space so we're not jamming elbows. We're going to bring our arms kind of at a parallel to the floor, elbows bent, and we're just going to go side to side. Doesn't have to be crazy fast. If you want to extend your arms out, I'm not doing this because I'm hitting the wall when I do that. You could reach if you wanted across, if that feels better for your shoulders. There's a practice where you could do it with your hands on your shoulders, just moving into that space. And breathing however you need to breathe with this. We're going to keep this, like we're making kind of a half circle here. We're going to do a full circle here with arms going up and around. Up and around. If you want to do inhale upswing, exhale downswing, you can. Change direction. Last one. Let's reach tall, interlace the fingers, stretch the wrists out. Shoulders down the back. Release the arms down, hands on the knees, pull the heart forward and round the spine. Option to inhale forward and exhale round. So we're intermittently exchanging movement and stillness today. I'm trying to keep our energy level kind of an even keel so we don't want to just go take a nap on a beautiful day. Pull the heart forward and we're going to breathe deep into the heart space. Open mouth exhale. Let's do 2 more of those. Good. Round. Breathe into the back heart. Open mouth exhale. Shoulders soften. Neutral spine. Come up and over. Breath into the heart on this side. 2 more. Up and over. Let's come back to center. We're going to move to the wall. So make sure your wall space is clear. I have artwork way above me, and I'm short, so my legs won't hit it. So if you have artwork on your walls, either pick a different spot or move your artwork. We're going to lay on the side. If you need a blanket under your head or hips, take that with you. Scoot your butt up to the wall, and then we're going to swing legs up the wall. And we'll start with classic straight up and down. And have your arms however you'd like them to rest. So if you need more space, arms can come overhead. Bring them out wide. You need more grounding, heart and belly. And if you've been feeling any heaviness on your heart or in your mind, we're going to just take some cleansing breaths until you feel that shifting, that lightness in through the nose, out through the mouth. Just continue to make adjustments as needed. If you need to take your heels wide, you can change how your legs are resting. Like soles of the feet together, legs crossed. Just taking your pick of what suits your body and your nervous system in this moment. And just allowing the hips to feel settled and supported on the earth and the wall, or close to the wall if your hamstrings are tight. And while we're here, let's bring the arms out to a T. Take the left hand and rest it on the right temple. And we're going to pull left ear to left shoulder. Right arm extends out to a T. We'll release, come back to neutral, and we'll take the right hand over to the left temple, right ear to right shoulder. Bring head back to neutral. Now we're just going to turn to look at the left hand. So instead of ear to shoulder, we're rolling, turning our head away. If you want to reach a little bit farther with the right hand, and then just let the arm relax a little bit. Roll to the head to the other side. And then you can reach through your left fingertips a little bit farther. And then just let the arm rest. Remember, you can adjust your legs at any time if you're starting to feel numbness in the feet. Back to center. Let's bring the legs up for happy baby or knees to chest. Roll to the side. And we're going to come around to our backs. Knees to chest. We're just going to do classic twists. If you need to add any extra flavor to it, top leg can extend, cattail. You feel gentle is where you need to be. Just keep it classic and very simple. It doesn't have to be complicated or complex. Switch sides. And we'll take one last knee hug, happy baby. Any last little thing that you need to feel complete, and letting yourself set up for Shavasana however you need. So if you need that feet together, stretching out the insides of the legs, cross leg or leg extended, however you need this. I'm going to move over to the sun a little bit. Just to get a little dose of sunshine here. You have great fortune of being in a room with a window like this. I encourage a little bit of like a cat nap. So getting yourself set to where you are most comfortable. And even finding hand and arm placement where you're most comfortable. So if you need that grounding, centering, hand on heart and belly, these are comforting gestures that can make you feel grounded. If you feel particularly anxious today, you need this space. Move your arms away from the body, away from the torso. And so as you're resting here, just allowing the exhale to encourage, facilitate the release, the surrender. feeling supported. And while we're resting here, just having that awareness of manifesting blessings. Truly, it boils down to gratitude. Finding things you're thankful for, seeing the blessings that are so simple in your life. And so we can begin just with what's within your space, just with your breath. The thing that keeps you alive every day is a blessing. You need no assistance. You are here breathing fully. Your heartbeat. The gifts of movement. The gift of our senses. And also recognizing that there are other people that do not have these gifts. Just honoring that these are blessings. And then we can extend outside of the physical realm and just be within your space. The fact that you have a roof over your head and that you're able to be here practicing with me with the technology to access this practice. And those are blessings. Extending to friends and family. Not everyone has those connections. Sense of community. Some people may feel isolated. And even keeping it as simple as a beautiful day. The birds are singing, the sun is shining. It really does boil down to gratitude and seeing those small, simple blessings before you and understanding that not everyone has them or can see them or experience them. And perhaps if we can shift our perspective and keep this awareness, we can be a blessing to other people. To be that light unto others. So if you're feeling inspired and have an intention arising within you here, just connect that to a deepened breath. Drawing the breath down into the belly. Still letting that exhale make that connection with the earth. Awakening awareness to your surroundings and having gratitude for even the distractions that have come and gone. And we'll roll to the side. Bring up to a comfortable seat. taking a moment to get to that upright position, centering around breath and intention. Centering around the heart space, bowing into yourself. Honor intention and practice. Honoring your space for allowing you the time. And honoring all the beautiful blessings that are in your life. Namaste. Have a beautiful weekend. Be safe, and we'll see you next week.